Hello everyone. Today I'm back again with another poem. This time the title of the poem is On Jennifer's Tigers, and the poet is Adrienne Rich. Now a few lines about the poet. Adrienne Rich was born in 1929 in Baltimore, Maryland, USA. She is widely known for her involvement in contemporary women's movement as a poet and theorist. She has published 19 volumes of poetry, 3 collections of essays and other writings. A strong resistance to racism and militarism echoes through her work. The poem On Jennifer's Tigers addresses the constraints of married life a woman experiences. Now I will recite the poem. The poem goes like this. Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance across a screen, bright topaz denizens of a world of green. They do not fear the men beneath the tree, they pace in sleek chivalric certainty. Aunt Jennifer's fingers fluttering through her wool find even the ivory needle hard to pull. The massive weight of Uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. When Aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie, still ringed with ordeal she was mastered by. The tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. That's how the poem ends. Now let's discuss the poem. Now this poem is divided into 3 stanzas. Now we will discuss the poem stanza-wise, but before that, let us talk about the theme of the poem. So the theme, if you listen carefully and you understood, you'll realize that the theme of the poet is all about the struggle of a woman, especially, Aunt Jennifer here, but it is the poet, through Aunt Jennifer, tries to project the universal struggle of women in terms of seeking validity, seeking freedom in a male-dominated society. The theme of the poem is the constraints and burdens women usually face in a patriarchal society, and the desire they have for independence amidst all the social constraints that overpowers them, or rather tries to overpower them. Now that's the theme. Now, stanza-wise, we'll discuss. So in the first stanza, the poet talks about Aunt Jennifer making an embroidery of tigers. Tigers that prance, that walk across the screen, and the ones who are denizens, who are the habitants of the world of green, of the jungle, and the ones who are walking fearlessly and in sleek chivalric certainty. Chivalric here means a polite and kind way to deal with women, to interact with women. Now through this paragraph we can understand that Aunt Jennifer is trying to show her feelings, bring out her feelings, the inner desires of the need, the desire to be free, to be dealt with kindness and politeness by the men folk, especially her husband. Moving on to the second stanza, the poet tells that how Aunt Jennifer's fingers were fluttering through her wool. That means how her hands was, going up and down, as if she was weaving, which she was obviously doing. And it says that while she was doing all these things, she was finding it hard to pull the ivory needle. And why it was so is being said in the next 2 lines. It said that it was because of the wedding band that she was wearing. which she was finding very heavy. Now, this has a deeper meaning. Now, it denotes that the wedding band was a symbol of oppression. Now, she obviously was oppressed by her husband, because of which she was finding it heavy. Her wedding band, she was finding it very heavy. And it also represents, the wedding band here also represents the control her husband has on her, and reflecting how she is trapped, how she feels constrained in this wedding she is in. Basically, this second stanza tries to convey the message that Aunt Jennifer was leading a married life that is oppressive in nature, that is restricting in nature. In the last stanza, the poet talks about a hypothetical situation of Aunt Jennifer's death. She says that even in her death, all these ordeals that she had faced will reflect on her hands, and that despite her death, the ordeals, those oppression that she had gone through throughout her life will not just vanish away. It will still remain with her. And despite that, the tigers that she had made on the tapestry will remain there, walking fearlessly in a proud way. Now, in this stanza, the poet tries to contrast the two different scenarios. One where Aunt Jennifer is oppressed, depressed, restricted, without any freedom and suffering. And another, the tigers that she had made, which are proud, chivalric, unafraid of anybody, and walking like kings. Now, it actually shows that how the inner desire of Aunt Jennifer, that how even she wants to be free, want to be unafraid of anybody, want to lead a life of her own. But despite that, unfortunately, she is married in such a household where the husband is oppressive. Now, you see, the underlying message of this entire poem, as we have understood till now, is the oppression that women folk face in a patriarchal society, especially in marriage, and the inner desire of independence, of freedom they have despite of all the social constraints they are in. That's all about the poem. I hope I'm able to make you understand it. Despite that, if there is something you are not able to understand, feel free to drop a comment in the message box below. I will try to